Welcome to another Sunday Live where we do a 20 question mock test, answer your questions about the theory test or driving test. So hopefully you've had a good weekend so far. I've had technical issues this morning, so hopefully we can make it through the 2 hours or so. Give me a minute, just sort these headphones out. Right, so let's just see if everything's going out live first and foremost. As I said, I had technical issues, so apologies for the late start. Right, so hopefully you guys can hear me and see me. I've got Juliet. Welcome to you. Let's come out of this one. Welcome, Juliet. I've not seen your name before, so I'm assuming you're new or a silent watcher. Taj, welcome. Claire, welcome. Musa, welcome. Rosaline, welcome to you. Right, so man, welcome to you. Hopefully you're well. Junior Lions TV, not seen your name before, so welcome to you. Good morning, and how are you, Aero TV? Happy new month. Oh, yes, 1st of June. Wow, time's flying by. Halfway through the year already. Hopefully you are well. Good morning to you. Well, that's a good start to a Sunday. Pass my theory test. Thanks so much for everything. You're welcome. Thank you for breaking the silence. I've not seen your name before. I'm not going to try and pronounce your name, but welcome, first and foremost. Congratulations on passing. Let me know what your next steps are. Are you looking to do driving lessons or a driving test? Let's get that license completed. Selena, welcome to you. Hopefully you're well. Cynthia, welcome. Again, welcome. This is a silent watcher. Thank you for breaking the silence. Bobatunde, good morning to you. Nana, good morning. Good morning. Isabella, good morning. Sabrine, good morning to you. Another one who's passed the theory test, so congratulations on passing. Just watching the videos. Well done to you. Congrats. Again, let me know what your next steps are. Looking for that driving lessons or looking for a driving test. Rit Queen, good morning to you. Right, let me do a summary of the theory test. UK failed my theory test yesterday because of a double red lines. I've never seen them before on the 4-in-1 app. You didn't fail the theory test because of double red lines. If you failed your theory test, you got at least 8 questions wrong. You wouldn't have had 8 questions on double red lines. And the double red lines are in the 4-in-1 app. With that, so you failed on a lot more than the double red lines. But the 4-in-1 does have the double red in there. So either you didn't do enough mock tests for it to bring up, or most importantly, didn't do the categories 1 by 1. And that's why I suggest doing categories 1 by 1. The reason for that, because the app is not designed to show you every single question on the test, regardless of how much mock test you do. You're going to cover every question on the app if you do category by category. I would suggest that you take a look at the paperwork you got from them, and it would tell you the categories of the questions you got wrong. And the red lines would be road markings. I can guarantee you did not get 8 road marking signs wrong. Stephen, welcome to you. Again, I'm not going to try and pronounce your name. Pass my theory test after watching your video, silent watcher. Thank you for breaking the silence, by the way. All you guys who are silent watchers actually come in and breaking the silence. I appreciate that. Junior, I've been a silent watcher for a while. Then Junior Lions TV's been silent watching. Right, let me do I want to do driving lessons and I stay around Tottenham. Haven't got any yet. North London is actually where I do my intensive courses. Yeah, keep searching. Yeah, just keep searching. There's not much more I can say to that. If you're looking for an instructor, that is, there's quite a few around there. It's just whether they are available at this point in time. This time of year, as instructors, we do get busy because colleges and unis are breaking up, and everybody wants to take driving lessons before they go back in September, October, that type of thing. So the time to now book an instructor is literally now. Try to get them roped in. Even if you're not ready to take driving lessons, get them roped in. Sorry, let me just put my phone on silent. Should learn from this every week. Yeah, even if you're not ready now, you can rope them in and try to book them in advance for July, August, whenever you guys feel like you're going to be ready. At least you know you've got one reserved. But I wouldn't wait till you're ready for a driving lesson and then look for an instructor, because it's going to be difficult, especially this time of year. Rita, good morning to you. Good morning, happy first Sunday. Good morning to you. Right, got my test on Tuesday. Been averaging 47 to 50 and covered every. What else should I do? Just by chance, because that name looks familiar. You didn't send me an email this morning, did you? Because I saw an email come through. Someone who's studying, got a test coming up. What was it? Saying English is not their first language. It just looks like the same type of spelling. Interesting. Fair test this week, English concerns. Just let me know if you're the same person. If you're not, you're doing everything you can. So let me get my program. I'm looking in the blank screen. So 1 second. Let's get this one up. I'll put this up here so I can see what I'm talking to. Yeah, sorry, you're doing everything you need to. So you're averaging 47 to 50 is what you're looking at. You covered every category. Just keep going. Your test is on Tuesday. Just keep going. Don't overdo it. You can do too much at this point. So don't go crazy. And also, if it starts to go wrong, you can knock your confidence as well. Just keep ticking over. You're on course to pass it based on your stats. But I will say, let me go straight into this because it's a good segue. I will say when you go for the real test, the questions are going to be worded slightly different. So be aware of that. Just make sure you haven't memorized the answers. So multiple choice, just in case you don't know, for all of you now, it's 50 questions. It's multiple choice. They have a 1,200 to 1,500 questions to choose from on their database, where on the apps it's 770 odd questions. So the person, I can't remember the name, said they failed on red routes because it didn't come up on the 4-in-1. As I said, you didn't fail on the red routes. You got a minimum of 8 questions wrong. So it was across the board where you failed on that. So the questions are multiple choice. I will add the questions are sampled questions. So they're going to be worded slightly differently to what you see on the app. And there may be questions that you've never, ever seen before. It still leads to the same outcome. What they're looking for is safety. I will also add the test is random. So if there's 10 of you in the room, it's 10 different tests for each person. It's not the same test for everybody. To be fair, sometimes it could be the luck of the draw where you get questions that you've always seen on the app. And you may get a lot of questions that you've never seen before. But if you studied, understand what they're asking, then it shouldn't really be an issue because it still leads to the same outcome. The time that you have is 57 minutes to do the questions, which is more than enough time if you studied. But again, I say to all my students, if you have to take 57 minutes and pass, take the 57 minutes rather than doing 20 minutes and fail. It makes no sense. You've paid for the time anyway, so use it wisely while you're in there. Once you've done that, you move on to hazard perception, which is 14 videos. 13 of them have single hazards, which you score a maximum of 5. One of them's got a double, 2 5s. You need to average 44. Not average, you need to get 44 out of 75. Your average has to be 3 across the board to pass that side of thing. I will do a demo at the end of the 20 question mock test that we do, just in case you guys are struggling, because every single week my emails and my WhatsApp is still, I'm struggling with hazard perception. So I'll do that standard now on the live. And what you're looking for in terms of answers is safety, a safe outcome. Same way your driving test is done from an examiner's point of view, any situation that develops on your driving test, it has to be a safe or controlled outcome. It's the same on the theory test. They're looking for a safe or controlled outcome. The theory test is black and white. It's either going to be safe or it isn't. It's only one answer that leads to safety. The other three never leads to safety. So hopefully that clears it up for you guys. Let me just catch up on the comments. And then we'll go into the 20 questions. I failed by 40. I've got 42 and 46. I was 1 point away. Nevertheless, I'm taking it again end of the month. That's a common statement. 42 missed it. You missed it by 1 in terms of passing it, but you got 8 questions wrong. That's what you want to take a look at, is the 8 questions you got wrong, or the categories you got the questions wrong in. And the reason why I say that, when you go again, because you told yourself you missed it by 1 because you actually said it there. So I was 1 point away. You already told yourself you're 1 point away. You're going to study at that level to get the 1 point. That's the reason why you want to say to yourself, I got 8 questions wrong, and study for 8 questions, because it's better to overstudy and fall forwards over the line rather than study just for the pass mark and fall behind the line. Because if you make a mistake, you're now down to 42 if you're studying to get 43 out of 50. That makes sense. And when you go again, it's a different set of questions. So technically, if you've got 8 questions wrong, you would have got about 5 categories wrong. So if you get the similar 5 categories, for example, and you get the same or similar questions wrong, you're going to get the same result. And I would work on your hazard perception, because you're scraping hazard perception 46. That's no breathing space in that. So I would still practice hazard perception. That's a struggle. And obviously I would cover the minimum, the categories of questions you got wrong. That's my advice if you want to take it by the end of the month and pass. Hello, welcome to you. Infinity, how are you? So far, so good. The weather's been decent here in Luton. So yeah, hopefully it's the same down your sides. My score was 42, 43. I don't know if you mean 42 and 43 and hazard perception. That means you just failed both parts. The last video, but the question was what? I need to get my brain running because it's not worded properly. Hold on, give me a sec. That's my dyslexia kicking in. The last question was what cars can park in double red lines, or it was something similar to that. No cars can park on the double red lines because it's no waiting whatsoever. So it's no cars. Would be that answer. But again, that's one question. Didn't give you 8 of them. So like I said, it's the weakness in your knowledge if you're getting 42. And if you're saying you've got 43 and hazard perception, if that's what you meant as well, that means you failed the hazard perception as well. So you need work on both parts. I'm new here. How are you? I've been watching your videos. I'm fine. Hopefully you're good. Hopefully you find something valuable in the session. Welcome to you. Right, let me start your provisional status. You need to chase them up. It's been a while now. You need to chase way over the time. If you're the same person I'm thinking of with there's a health issue or something called learning ability issue or something like that you had, I believe. If that's the case, you want to chase them up. Oh, it wasn't you, someone else. It's a similar name. I just checked the email. It's a similar name to you. Strange. But never mind. Just do what I told you before. Yeah, man, you just need to chase them up. Keep chasing. I know you probably have. But unfortunately for you, you want something from them. So you're the one who's got to keep chasing with that. Right, let's do the hazard perception. Let's do the 20 question mock test. And then I will do a demonstration of the hazard perception, but I'll answer your questions. Keep on coming. Remember, if you have a question, please put a Q semicolon It makes it a lot easier for me to find, because there's over 60 of you here already watching. So it's going to look like a comment otherwise. What am I looking for? Share screen. Right, so those of you that are new, the way we do this is read the question, go to your options, and then choose your answer. So you're approaching a crossroads. What should you do if the traffic lights have failed? This is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. If you think it's 1A, please put the question number and then the letter of choice. The reason being, there's a delay between me and YouTube, you and YouTube. So I want to make sure we're on the same question number as we go ahead. If you don't put the question number, it won't get shown up in the comment section. If you took the time to type it out, I like to try to show it where possible. Ernestina, you tested on the 25th of what? I'm assuming 25th of June, because we're in June now. And I want to join the boot camp. When can I join it before my test is due? What day is the 25th? I'm not working the 23rd. 25th is a Wednesday. Ideally, you want to take it the week before. So 23rd, I'm not working 21st, so 16th. You're looking at the boot camp for the 16th of June is when I would sign up for that. So if you want to do the bootcamp, the link is in this description of this video, on most of the videos. You can go to the website www.drivingtheoryuk.com and sign up from that. But you're looking for the week of the 16th of June, and then you'll be ready to go for the 25th, which is on a Wednesday, I believe. Got your theory test tomorrow. Again, while you're here, got any questions, please ask away. Send you in there tomorrow. I'm really confident, as can be. Passive tests on Thursday. Congratulations on passing. 46, 61 has perception. Well done to you. Again, let me know what you're doing next. Driving test, driving lessons. Good morning. Some follower here. I did my test last Wednesday and I passed 45. Well, first of all, thank you for breaking the silence. And 6 has perception. Your videos and apps helped a great deal. Many thanks. You're welcome. Thank you for breaking the silence and let me know. And congratulations. I haven't memorized all the answers, but only the ones that you should. I watched all your videos. That's the best way to learn. I wish you luck with that. Like I said, you haven't memorized all the answers. Hopefully you understand it anyway, regardless of whether you memorized it. And you should be set for when you go for your test. All right, let's take a look at the answers and I'll come back to these comments. Right, we all started positive with the B. Right, so B seems to be the common answer. Be prepared to stop for any traffic. You're approaching crossroads. What should you do? Yep, it's going to be that one, safety wise. What's the main benefit of driving a 4-wheel drive vehicle? For me, good morning to you. Annette, good morning. Flecky, if I'm saying that right, I'm a son of you. I passed my exam on Thursday. 49 out of 50. Missed the magical 50 by 1. 57 has perception on first attempt. Congratulations on passing. Stumbled onto my videos. Oh, well, first and foremost, thank you for turning up and letting me know that you've passed. And thank you for sharing. I appreciate sharing. All of you guys who sharing the the videos and the channel. I appreciate that. And all the comments that you guys have. I do read the comments. I just can't reply to all of them because there's so many. But I do read the comments on the video. So thank you for taking part in that. And also liking the videos as well. Appreciate that. Ibrahim, good morning to you. Number 2. So I'm just trying to find the 2s because you've got so many of you here. All right, there we go. Some of the ones are still coming through as well. Right, C, because you guys seem to be agreeing with that, seems to be the correct answer. C, improved grip. Yeah, 4 wheels, better grip, especially for off-road. I need to take this down. You're driving on this dual carriage way. Why may you need to slow down? I always suggest read the question. Obviously, it is look at the information. Sometimes there's clues in the image, so really scan the image. Please, when you guys ask a question, please put a Q semicolon because it's just like a comment to me. Help me with this question. What does ESC indicator lamp lights up? Help me with this question. What does... So let me come back to that. I need to get my head around that. You've got ESC and then you've got EST. Esther did not get on my first. 39, that's 11 questions wrong. That suggests there's a lack of knowledge. With that, I would definitely go back to each individual categories. I have booked another one in 3 weeks. It all depends how much studying you're going to do with between now and 3 weeks' time, 7, 14, 21. So you're looking around the 20th of June. It's doable, but yeah, there's a lack of knowledge. If you've got 39 for a test that you studied for, that shows a lack of knowledge. So you need to restudy the categories. Number 3. Remember, if you guys got a question, please put a Q semicolon. It makes it a lot easier for me to see it as a question rather than a comment. You guys seem to be agreeing this morning. There's no difference of opinion. Let me put that. So that's related to the other comment, I believe. D seems to be the answer. Delayed possible. Yeah, triangles are warnings. So like I said, there's a clue in there. You're about to drive your car. What should you do if you cannot find the glasses you need to wear? Let's try this again. Help me with this question. What does if... Right, first of all, I can't get my head around what you're asking. If the light comes up, similar to what Musa just said, if the light comes up on the panel, it's activated. But for the theory test, they asked what ESC means, and it stands for Electronic Stability Control. So I repeat, ESC stands for Electronic Stability Control. That's what they normally ask in the theory test, what it stands for. They give you 4 options with ESC. And the one you're looking for is electronic stability control. What it means is if the onboard computer, all modern day cars have a computer on board, if it senses the wheels aren't being stable with the tarmac, it makes it happen. Hence, the electronic stability, the S stability, makes it stable again. Your tires in contact properly with the tarmac control. That's what it stands for. I'm not sure what you're talking about with EST though. But Musa's right. If it comes on, it's activated or in operation. If it stays on for a length of time, there's an issue. So hopefully that clears it up. If it doesn't, type it in the chat again in a different way. But it's just trying to get my head around the way you're wording that. I see Mr. D. And 49, well done to you. 49, missed it by 1. The magical 50 has a perception 65. Wow. Well done to you. Mr. D, well done to you. Thank you for coming to the live and let me know. Let me know what your next steps are. No problem. If you type it in there, I'll try to read it. But like I said, if it's a question, please put a Q semicolon because it looks like a comment and I may skip it. Not deliberately, but I may skip it because there's so many comments coming through thick and fast. Can you increase the answer for better clarity? No, I can't, unfortunately. If it's small on your side, it's on your side. It's not on my side because everybody else can see it clearly. It's what I've been using for God knows how long. There's no way I can increase it. For B. That's a misprint. Yeah, stands for electronic stability control. Normally on the theory test, they ask you what it means rather than what it does. The question I got to ask myself is, the question I would ask you, you haven't started studying yet, but you've booked an exam for the 12th of July. The saving grace is that it's next month. So you have got time to study. But the question, why would you book a test and not start to study? But anyway, you've done it. So let's deal with what we got. Can you please advise how to go about my preparations? Yeah, download the 4-in-1 app, start studying with that. Do each category in turn and then start doing mock tests. As you approach the end of June, the 12th of July, as you start to approach the end of June, early July, you should be passing mock tests on a regular basis. So if you're taking 5 mock tests during that week, you should be passing a minimum of 3. Then you're kind of on track for your test. If you're not passing them, you need to either step up your studying or push your tests back. But the first thing is download an app. I would do the 4-in-1. That's the one I recommend. And then start to do the categories in turn. And make sure you understand what they're asking. It's easy enough to just study, but you need to understand certain words, dual carriageways, aquaplaning, forward, coasting. You need to start to understand that. You can use Google to do that. That's what I would suggest you do. Or you can use AI to do that as well. Some of you aren't, certain words come up and you guys aren't Googling the words. That's not cheating when you're studying. Someone's got a C on there. It's about understanding what they're asking. So when they word it differently on the real test, you still know what they're talking about. You got dyslexia as well. Watching since Christmas time and using the 4-in-1. My test is booked for the 23rd of June, which is about 3 weeks away because I know I'm off that week. Well, hopefully with dyslexia, it depends how bad it is. I am not a big I don't use it because I'll find a way to cope with dyslexia, but I don't use it. But if you struggle with the words itself, what you can do, Junior, is use headphones and voiceover. So if you want to go down that route, start to practice at home so it feels natural on the day. So on the day, they will have headphones that you just plug in the headphones and have it read to you. When I teach students with dyslexia, they tend to find that very, very useful because it's read to them. But like I said, I wouldn't use headphones. It's just me. I just found a way of coping and my brain works with that. But everyone's different. But that may help if you do struggle with the word. So use headphones. 47 my second attempt. Well done for passing, and thank you. Appreciate for coming to the live and let me know how you got on. Comfort, you're new, you're welcome. What are we on for? Let's carry on with the bees. No problem, you're welcome. Right, someone went for a C. I've got to say B's got to be the correct because it's a common answer. Yeah, someone went for C. Drive home at night so the lights will light you. So that the lights will help you. No, if you can't see the minimum distance, you should, and that's glasses is helping you. Like I wear glasses, you shouldn't be driving. It's against the law as well. So if you got caught, so if you had an accident and it was proven that you should have worn glasses, you're in serious trouble. So if you can't find your glasses, find a way of getting home without it. It's a legal requirement. When you do your driving test, you get an eyesight check as well. That's how important it is. You're driving a vehicle that has anti-lock brakes. How should you apply the foot brake when you need to stop in an emergency? I also want to take the test in July, but not book yet. I'm assuming you mean the theory test because that's why you're here. There's nothing wrong with taking it in July. We're in June now, so you've got over a month, 4 weeks, which is more than enough time if you put the work in. I would definitely look for test dates now and book it in advance and work towards it. Don't wait to July because we book theory tests each week for our students. And it's becoming harder and harder to find a date because they do the boot camp on the Monday, they take their test on a Friday. And the test dates, the test centers are getting booked up more and more and more. So yeah, I would definitely start looking at July dates if that's what your goal is and work towards it. If you're not going to be ready, you can always push it back. It's not a problem. In practice mock, what mark should you be aiming for? 50. That's what you should be aiming for. I'm not being funny, but you should be aiming for 50 out of 50 on the mock. Why aim for less? If you don't get it, then you ask yourself why by looking at the wrong answers. You always aim to get the highest mark possible. Don't aim to get the pass mark. As I mentioned, if you aim for 50 and you fall short, you should fall over the line. You fall forwards, which means you get 45, 46, which means you're still passing. If you aim for the pass mark of 43 and you fall short, you're falling backwards, which means you've got 42, 41 or less, which means you failed the test. Always aim for 50. And then if you don't get 50, ask yourself why by looking at the wrong answers. On my channel, I've done mock tests where I've got questions wrong. I can easily edit that out and show you 50 out of 50 every time. But then I'm lying to you because I still make mistakes, which means you're going to make mistakes. So I don't edit my mistakes out. If I get it wrong, I'll get it wrong and own up to it. So you guys should be doing the same. Aim for 50. That's what I do for the videos when I'm filming. I aim for 50. Sometimes I get it. Sometimes I don't. It's life. Learn from the mistakes. That's how you get better. You guys, sometimes when you study, you think it's wrong or embarrassing to get questions wrong. You don't. There's no need to be embarrassed with it. You learn from it. If you're not going to learn from it, that's a different story. But when you make a mistake, you want to learn from the mistakes to improve. Juniors, they now leave the headphones out. I think you still got on the application, you still got to claim voiceover, but it's actually out now because they used to have to set it up for each individual. But I believe the headsets are left out automatically. So when you go in, they just put them on. But practice at home with headphones because it's a different sensation. Don't if you're using the 4, I don't know about the others, but if you're using the 4-in-1, you can play it through the volume. Plug headphones in because it's different hearing it out loud like you listen to a TV as opposed to having, I've got headphones on, I can hear myself right in here. It's a different sensation. When you're practicing at home, listen, for all of you, not just for headphones, when you're practicing at home, you should be practicing the same way you're going to take the test. And when you go in there live, you shouldn't be changing anything, because once you change something, it's no longer natural. It feels different. So practice the same way you practice at home. So use headphones as in, make sure it goes in the ears or over if you're using a bigger version. That's my advice to you guys who want to use headphones. Some of you just do the voiceover and play it through the phone or tablet, but you don't want to get that experience when you go into the real test. Same thing for your driving test. When you're practicing, someone's got an A. So when you practice your driving test as well, your driving lessons, you should be practicing the same way you're going to drive on the day. Don't change anything. Right, I've got A, B's and C's. Right, let's focus. A, B's and C's. Right, you're driving a vehicle that has anti-lock brakes. How should you apply the foot brake when you need to stop? Right, with the theory test, rapid is quickly for them. So rapid is quick. So it's got to be, it's emergency. Someone's run out in front of you. It's got to be rapid as in quick, and firmly would be that choice. Some of you got B's and C's. Slowly but firmly. It's an emergency. If you go slowly from the gas to the brake, you're not stopping anytime soon. But firmly is correct. Another one was C that you guys went for. Rapid is quick. That's the first part's correct. And gently, no. Someone's run out in front of you. You need to stop that car as quickly and safely as possible. So for the theory test, I use the word rapid and firmly. So you're stopping the car as quickly and as possible. And that's your controlled stop for your driving test, for those of you looking to take your driving test soon. You're behind this cyclist. When the traffic lights change, what should you do? Again, look at the image. And I think that's obvious what you should be doing there. Simply Me, good morning. How are you? Hopefully you're fine. Get rid of that one. I passed my first. I thought you can say the 23rd attempt. About to say, wow, 23rd of May. Got 43 just about. Congratulations on passing the pass. I would suggest, even though you passed it, take a look at the categories that you got the questions wrong in. And you may want to revisit some of them. Yes, you've passed it, but you've also got 7 questions wrong and just passed it. What I would be looking for, if you've got questions wrong in road markings or road and traffic signs, and road markings, rules of the road, and road and traffic signs. If you've got questions wrong in those, I would revisit those categories. The reason why I'm saying that is because you need it for your driving lessons. So you want to brush up on that. And 65 and it has perception, which is a very high score for a test. Yeah, practical can be scary, but if you practice well enough, it will ease the nerves. But go back to what I said about your 43. Just look at the categories, re-study the road signs, road markings, rules of the road, just in case. For me to remember the information, which is why I have given myself time. It's just me being fussy here. That's the way I am with my students. You got the word remembering. The question is, why would you want to remember? You need to if you understand it, it comes automatically. If that makes sense. I know you don't mean it literally like that, but like I said, I'm fussy with my words. So yeah, if you understand it, it doesn't make a difference. You understand it. It's like you know your family member's name, but if you saw a total stranger and for the first time, you're trying to remember their name. But once you get to know them, understand them, you know their name automatically. So yeah, be very careful with when you use words like remembering. We're number 6. Again, some of you got 6B, 6C. Come on, it's 6C. That's a big statement to make when everybody's going for 6B. Why is everyone going for B? Oh, happy birthday, Tin. You're here on the live, 1st of June. Yeah, there's not much I can say about the dogs. I know what it's like to lose a pet or pets over time. But happy birthday. Hopefully you're doing something special. All right. There's a dispute. MAG saying it's B and no, MAG saying it's C, and most of you are saying C. So let's break this down. You're behind the cyclist, the traffic lights change. What should you do? B and C, allow the cyclist time and room. And MAG is going for C, turn right, but give the cyclist room. Why would you want to turn right? It says nothing in here about turning right. So I don't understand why you're going for C. It's B, allow the cyclist time and room. That covers, when you do the theory test, the answer's got to be generic. When I say generic, it covers every base. Your answer says turn right, but give the cyclist room. What happens if you're going straight? You're saying still turn right anyway. This covers going straight, turning left, turning right. It makes no difference where you're going. It just says give the cyclist time and room. So it's B. I'm not understanding why you're going for C. You're following a slower moving vehicle. What should you do if there's a junction just ahead on the right? I can't cover that because I need the image to show everybody what that is, and I haven't got image to hand. We do that in the boot camp, which is again comment on wrong answers in the boot camp. With signs and images, let me come back to that. I can do it with, hopefully I can do it with my markers. Hold on, give me a couple of minutes. Let me deal with this question for number 7 first, and I'll come back to that. Evolve her with joy. Not seen your name before, so welcome to you. First attempt, 45, has perception 62, which is a high. I watched your videos and did a few mock tests on the app. Congratulations on passing. Thank you for coming to the live and let me know how you got on. What's your next step? 7. Technically, it's 6C. You're still going for that. Daniels, how are you? Right, 7B is the common answer. Only consider when overtaking. Yeah, only consider overtaking when you've passed the junction, so not to mislead other road users. A police officer asks to see your documents. You do not have them with you. How many days do you have to produce them at a police station which you nominate? Right, let me see if I can do this. Right, Musa. The triangles, I'll do it on here if you can see my cursor here. I always explain in the boot camp when I do this, with images, you've got to imagine you're going from bottom to top. Always go from bottom to top because we drive on the left, we drive up the road. So with the arrow, two-way traffic straight ahead is this one. So you're going up and the traffic is coming down. Obviously, you've got a triangle around it. With the two-way traffic, you are on the one-way, so you're going up the one-way system. And you've got the traffic going across your path. So this one with the triangle around it is two-way traffic crosses a one-way road. And this is two-way traffic straight ahead. So always imagine you're going up and the traffic's coming down. With this one, you're on the one-way road going up and the traffic is going across your path. On the theory test, they talk about this one the most. On the real test I'm talking about. So hopefully that makes sense. We got these 8, 8, 8. Let's find the 8s. Wow, you guys are typing really fast. There we go. With the producer, I don't know what the answer is, what letter it is, but it's 7 days. Oh yeah, it was Luton Carnival last week. Hopefully you enjoyed. The 7 days you have to produce your documents. Let me get rid of this one. They won't let me do anything with that. What does this sign mean? Again, look at the image because there's clues in there for you. You're welcome. Right. 9A is the common answer. Cyclists, pedestrians, route for pedestrians, cyclist. Yes. What's the meaning of this sign? This one causes a lot of people trouble. Let's see how you guys get on. The question is, why not? Hey, Road TV, you got a fast internet connection. We're still getting 9s coming through. Ten A is the common answer. Right. Well done to you guys getting that right. So waiting restriction means you can drop off your passengers, pick them up, but you can't wait for them any length of time. Someone's gone for a C. We'll see. School crossing patrol. Don't know why you would have gone for that. 95% red circles and no's. This is one of your 5%. It's not school crossing patrol. Yeah, I don't know why you've gone for that one unless it's a typo. How should you signal if you're going straight ahead at a roundabout? Here tutorial. Good morning to you first and foremost. I come to say thank you. I passed my test on the 27th of May. 49, Mr. 1, Mr. 55 1. And 62 out of 75. Well done to you. Congratulations on passing. What are you doing next? Driving lessons? Are you taking driving lessons? Are you looking to book a driving test? Sorry, I'm going to put her back on. So 1 second. She's still there. Here tutorial. Someone said to me, what should you aim for? And on the mock test, and that's what you should be aiming for, 50 out of 50. She's missed it just by 1, because it gives you the best possible chance of studying. Not only that, by aiming for 50, you're aiming high. If you just say, oh, I just need 43, so I'll just study for the 43, you've just told your brain to just do enough to get by. And sometimes that enough isn't enough. So always aim for 50. Whether you get it or not, it's another matter, but always aim for 50. But it has perception, aim for 75, obviously, and she's got 62, which is a really, really good score. So well done to her tutorial. Thank you for coming and let me know how you got on. Appreciate that. What are we on? 11. I can do, and I will do at the end of the 20 questions. Just out of interest, just how many of you are taking driving lessons now while you're studying? Just type yes in the comment section. How many of you taking driving lessons while you are doing your theory test? Question 10 option is quite confusing. Maybe I don't understand the question. Question 10 options is quite confusing. Not being funny for Daniel's, if I was correct, the last question was a road sign waiting restriction. That would suggest you don't understand road signs rather than it's confusing. That's what that would suggest to me with that road sign and the options I had on there. I could be wrong, but if you was my student and you made that comment with those options and sign, I would be thinking you don't understand what road signs are. What they mean. I won't say I understand what road signs are, what they mean in particular, or what they look like. That's what I would say, not confusing. But like I said, I don't know you, but that's what my first judgment call would be. Am I missing something here? Because you guys are typing in 12. We're number 11. Taking driving lessons. Right, here we go, 11B. Corrected. 11's confusing. Right, I'm with you now. I thought road signs. Hold on a minute. Okay, I'll explain that in a second. I was going to, but everyone I know is booked up in Wembley. Struggle to find anything drama related at the moment. I will still be looking, because the reason why I would say keep looking, because at some point some instructors are going to have test passes and the space gets opened up. If you keep looking, it's going to be frustrating, don't get me wrong, but at some point you will come across an instructor who has space because he's had test passes. Think about, if you're struggling now to find one, what makes you think you're going to find one when you're ready to find one? So you might as well go through the struggle now and get them locked in. Like I said, you don't have to take the lessons now. You can just say, look, I want to take lessons in July, August, and can you reserve that spot for me? Most of them, if they've got the spot, they will reserve it for you. But wait into July, August to find one. If you're struggling now, you're still going to struggle back then anyway. Okay, that looks like a Got my test on the 5th of June, which is, where's my guys got their test? They've got their test on Friday. So you're taking tests on Thursday. I wish you luck with that. If you've got any questions while you're here, ask away. Right, so sorry, let me just do this again because I carried away. C's was a common answer. Let's do this again. And the Daniels said it was confusing, which I'll try and explain for you to clear that up. Right. C is what you guys are going for. Let's take a look at C. Signal left just after you pass the exit before the one you're going to say. Yeah, it's going to be this one. There is no, with roundabouts, let me break it down for you, especially for the Daniels. How should you signal if you're going straight ahead at a roundabout? There's only 3 signals on the car. There's turning left, turning right, and brake lights. So you're going straight, so there's no signal. So work backwards. If you don't know what the answer is to this one, work backwards. Signal right on approach. If you signal right on approach to roundabout, you're turning right. So get rid of that one. Signal left after you leave the roundabout. If you're signaling left after you left the roundabout, it's too late. Get rid of that one. And signal right on approach to the roundabout and keep signal on. You know you're not going to do that. It's misleading. So by default, by getting rid of these 3, you left with this one. So let me break this answer down for you. Signal left just after you pass the exit before the one you're going to take. And I'll tell you what, even better still, 1 second, because we're here to learn. Give me 1 second. Visual is always better. Hopefully this works. iPad. So there's a round. Well, let's do a big one. So there's a roundabout. Let's get rid of this. So there's the blue car coming onto the roundabout going straight. So no signal on approach to the roundabout. Based on the answer, we can't see it now. Signal left just after the exit before the one you need. So you're going straight. So you're going to signal after this one. You no longer need this one. So you're going to signal after that one. So watch the blue car. It's now put a signal, and that's what it means. And that's how it works. Let me just do that again so you guys can see it. No signal on approach to a roundabout. And then once it passes exit, it no longer needs, it signals left to come off. So hopefully that makes it clear because you've got the question, you've got a visual. So hopefully that helps you visually to understand it. Let's go back to that one. So that's the correct answer. Get this wire out of the way. Why should the junction on the left be kept clear? For those of you taking driving lessons, thanks for that. Sorry, for those of you taking driving lessons, do you find that the theory is helping your driving or the driving is helping your theory, or don't see any difference? How do I book for practical tests? Is there any link? I have been driving with my international license. Right, so what you want to do is jump on the DVSA, same way you booked your theory test, it's the same website. Instead of going for the theory test, you go for driving test link. Go for the DVSA website, dvsa.gov.uk. Make sure it's the official one, because there's lots of fake ones out there. And click on the link and type in your details. Now you've got your theory test, you type in those details. If there's any dates, it's going to be hard to find a date, but you've got to keep checking morning, noon and night and do it for the official website. The test is £62 or £62.50. If you're paying more than that, then it's a fake site. No problem, you're welcome. As I said, we are here to learn. MAG, you got 13. I'm not sure why you've gone for 13, because unless you're got a crystal ball, we're number 12. Get rid of this pen. Right, D seems to be the common one. D, allow vehicles enter. Yeah, try to leave junctions clear for your driving test as well. Courtesy, not blocking other people in unnecessarily. What should you do before driving into a tunnel? $48 out of 50, too short of the 50. 50 at 75. Congratulations on passing on the 10th of April. Wait, hold on a minute. Let me read this again. On the 10th of April, also passed my driving test on the 21st of May. Well done to you. Congratulations. Wow. April, May, that's 5, hold on, 10 to 10, 4 weeks, 17. About 6 weeks later, you've passed your driving test. Well done. Thank you for letting me know that you completed your journey. Hopefully you're driving now. If not, when the time comes, drive safely. Make sure you look after the license at least for the next 2 years. Well done. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm not sure if they was taking driving lessons as they did the theory test, but that's the advantage of taking the theory while you're learning to drive, because once you pass, you literally can go and book your driving test. And if you can get a date soon enough, within 6 weeks or so, you could be driving. So yeah, well done to you. Just a thought, if you're turning right at a roundabout, would you signal right then left? If it's a big roundabout, yes, you signal right on approach so people know where you're going. And then when you're coming off, just like with the straight, after you pass exit, you no longer need your signal left. If it's a mini roundabout, you signal right, but you do not signal to come off a mini roundabout. It's too small, too tight. You can lose control. Roundabouts, the way that I know explain in my driving lessons with my students, roundabouts are just junctions. It's the same. If you're turning left at the end of the road, you signal left. You're turning right end of the road, you signal right. If you're going straight into the road, there's no signal. It's the same as a roundabout, no different, except you're going round the roundabout. But students worry about roundabouts. If you put it in the context of a junction, it's the same thing that you've been doing from day one when you turn left and turn right junctions. It's actually slightly easier, to be fair, because you'd look to the right at roundabouts. With junctions, you've got to look left, right. If there's a crossroads, you've got to look left, straight, and right. With roundabouts, it's just one way that you're looking. But like I keep saying to my students, some instructors, some students make it more difficult than it really is. You need to simplify it. Love that. Send that love. Appreciate the welcome back there. C is common answer. Take off sunglasses. If sunglasses is not an option on your real test, not the app, you're looking for tinted glasses. They use sunglasses or tinted glasses as an option. There's other options, but that's in terms of glasses, it's those two. There's other options they can give you in terms of a tunnel. Right. How can drinking alcohol affect your ability to drive or ride? I have mine on the 8th of June. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I don't want something learned. I got to assume you got the theory test on the 8th of June. with that, but I'm not sure what the other bit meant or means. Put these other C's up there. I think YouTube's running really slow. Diego, you're welcome. You're new, but you're welcome. Thank you for introducing yourself first and foremost. If you got a question, ask it away, but please put a Q, semicolon in front. I keep saying it makes my life so much easier to find it. Otherwise, it looks like a comment. And I may just skip it by accident. Again, you're welcome. That's what we're here for. Ask your questions about the driving side as well. I'm here to help you guys with the driving as well, if you need it. Hi, any of these questions being the theory test here in the UK? I've me test on Friday. It's weird how you put in the UK. It's possible the questions could be in the theory test, but as I said at the beginning of the live, it could be worded slightly differently. Just a different spin on the questions. Or there may be questions that you've never seen before, which you've got to be prepared for. Got my test tomorrow. Any tips and tricks? Yeah, read the questions carefully. Read the answers carefully. If you don't know what the answer is, you have to answer to move forward anyway. Answer it, but flag it before you move. And then if you still don't know what the answer is, like I showed you on the roundabout one, work backwards, work out what it can't be. There's always a stupid answer on there. As you saw for the roundabout one, if you was here for that, there was 3 answers that's incorrect. So you're left with the right answer by default. Make sure you take deep breaths, especially if you think that you're losing it. Anxiety is kicking in. Just literally take a step back and then take some deep breaths and then go again. But the most important trick I've got for you is just take your time. Literally take your time and break the questions down in small chunks. I wish you luck with the second one. Let us know how you got on by come back next Sunday. With the answers, 14B is the correct common answer. No, that's the correct one. What's the main hazard the driver of the red car arrowed should be aware of? Again, look at the image. There's a clue in there. That's a good question. Based on the feedback, the questions is all. Right, let me break this down. I've got to be careful with my words there. From your experience, are the questions heavily reworded or just subtly changed? Right, let's break the first one. Heavily reworded. They can be reworded totally differently to the extent it's like a different question altogether. Some of them are subtle changes, and some of them, like I said, questions you have never, ever, ever seen before or would have come across on the app. So you can get 3 versions, heavily reworded, just a slight change, i.e. there's one where I said to you, it's got glasses to remove from the tunnel, and I've just said to you tinted glasses. I believe they use it on the app as well. Anyway, tinted glasses, stuff like that. So it can be heavily reworded. It can be slightly reworded, just subtle. And there's questions, like I said, that you've never come across before. But if you understand what they're asking in terms of the safety factor, it's the same answer in terms of just choose a safe option. That's why I keep saying, read the questions very carefully. Notice what I'm saying here. Sometimes read the question and there's clues there. So I can't remember who it was. Someone said about they got the test coming to ask for tips. Read the question, look at the image. There's a massive clue in there for the answer as well. So sometimes it can be like that as well. 15. 13th of this month will be a year before. Like, yeah, because you passed when I was in hospital. So it's like a year since my dad died as well, which was the 26th of May. And it's the year since I was actually in hospital this time. So I remember it. Receiving your text, your email saying that you've not seen any video. So I remember it like yesterday. I couldn't forget it, to be honest. Life or death experience. So you've got another year to keep your nose clean, and you got to 12 points. Let me come back to that statement. Sorry, I just need to break it down. As a new driver, how many driving lessons are you expected to have before your practical? Let me come back to that. Still, sorry, the B's are still coming in. Right, I think that's the last one. Right, so B. I don't know why it keeps doing that. You got a bus there, and you got a bus in the answer. That's what I mean by clues. You got a bus there and a bus in the answer. I'm not saying it always works, but if there's clues in it, you have to kind of think, hold on a minute, is that the answer? And it's also the safety. The bus may move out. And just in case you guys don't know, not taking driving lessons, if a bus is signaling to move off and it's safe to let the bus go, the bus has priority, hence why it's showing this. Because a bus, especially in London buses, they literally signal and move, force you to stop. But yeah, if it's safe to let a bus go when it's signaling, it is the bus's priority by law. So again, it's a driving test situation for you guys. Hence why you should take driving lessons and theory tests at the same time. You are driving on a single carriageway road. Why should you keep well back while following a large vehicle? Let me deal with these comments. Right, so for the early text, which is the 8th of June, next Sunday. Don't want to overlearn. Any advice? I'm not understanding what you mean by overlearn. You said take it 3 times. So if you're overlearning, then you wouldn't have taken it 3 times. So I'm not sure what you mean by that. The only advice I can give you is, I'm not sure what you mean by overlearn, because like I say, if you overlearn, that means you know more than what you should do. So you shouldn't take your 3 times to pass it. The only thing I would suggest with that, with the 8th of June around the corner next week, is you've taken it 3 times. You've got 3 paperwork from them. Hopefully you kept them. Lay them out side by side. Look at the categories you got the questions wrong in. And if there's a common denominator across all 3, those are the categories you want to study again. So let's just say road signs was on all 3. You need to study road signs because obviously it's a common one you keep getting wrong. If it's road markings, again, that safety in your vehicle and so on and so on. If there's no common denominator on all 3, I'll be honest with you, you're back to square one. You need to do all individual categories, because if you're taking the test 3 times and every time you take it's a different category showing up, then that shows a lack of knowledge. So you're back to school. And when I say back to square one, you should be going over each category in turn. So that's the first thing I would do, is put the paperwork side by side and see if there's a common denominator. At this point, because you've only got a week left, I don't know how much time you can study within the week, because everybody's got a different busy schedule. But my priority would be, you're hoping that you have got the same category across the board. It makes it a little bit easier to study. But if it's different categories, you're going back to square one. That's the advice I'll give my student if that was the case. But I'm not sure what you mean by overlearn. If that's a mistype or you literally meant, I don't want to overdo it. You're not overdoing it because you haven't passed it. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, just retype it in a different way so my brain can get around it. As a new driver, how many driving lessons are you expected to have before your practical test? The only question I'll ask is how long is a piece of string? Everyone's different. I've got a student. Funny enough, I had a student this week. She's turned 17 on Monday, literally turned 17. Only had one of them drive experiences last year, 45 minutes of that. 17 years of age, literally no driving experience on the main road. It was in the car park. She had the driving experience and she was ready by the end of the week. The maneuvers need work, but she's got time to work on that. She passed her theory test on Friday as well. Started on Monday, passed on Friday, but she was one of the quickest learners I've had in a long time. Really, really a quick learner. But like I said, she only did 20 hours this week. Slightly different compared to what you're talking about because she's doing it every day. She was driving for 4 hours every day with me. You're doing weekly lessons. Now, it depends how it's structured. If it's every 7 days, it's going to take you slightly longer. If it's every 7 days, but 1 hour a week, it's going to take you longer than having 2 hours. So it depends how it's structured. Everybody's different. So that can't be answered, not by me anyway, without seeing you drive. So a driving instructor can see you drive and then can base it on what you achieved in the time that you booked the lesson and then go from there. But what you have to be prepared for, you're looking at a lot of hours. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a lot of hours unless you are extremely quick learner and you can retain the information over a 7-day period. Hopefully that makes sense. 16, let's get the 16s out of the way. When it comes to taking driving lessons, everybody is different. Some people, I'll be honest with you as well. With my car, it's really easy to drive, very difficult to stall. Most of the time, I'm dealing with pupils' mindsets, and what I mean about this, they worry about traffic on the road. They worry about other people. They worry about missing things. So I'm trying to change their mindset, trying to keep them relaxed. Like I said, with Sophie, where I've done this week, the only thing I had to deal with, she learned things quickly. She was worried about other road users. So we spent a lot of time on mindsets, stop worrying about other people. When it comes to driving, you guys are worried about missing things or crashing and all the rest of it, which you shouldn't do. No problem. You're welcome. The common answer was D. Yeah, get the best view of the road. There's a saying, if you can't see the wing mirrors, they can't see you. So if you're driving and you can't see lorries, buses, wing mirrors, you're driving too close. You take some cough medicine given to you by a friend. What should you do before driving your car? Hadi, I can't pass my theory test. I have failed 4 times. Again, similar to, I can't remember his name. I think it was Fat Pappy. Lay the paperwork out side by side, look at the common denominator, and go from there. That's the best. I don't know you, so I don't know why you're failing. That's the easiest way to go in terms of moving forward first, and then go from there. But if you're failing 4 times, you really have to ask yourself why you're failing. Do you have any videos explaining what lights to use when driving, for example, during different weather and times of day? Because some questions in the test involves a question. Yes. If you go to, it's on the playlist. If you go for the question of the week, I've done a video on lights, which lights to use, when to use them. The questions are asked about the lights as well. So if you go to the playlist, of question of the week, it's on there. Yeah, if you don't do anything silly, because no one's going to, on the driving test, for example, we always say stay left. If you stay in the gear too long, your instructor will bring it up. No police officer is going to turn up and say you stayed in second gear. You're driving automatic anyway, so it makes no difference. But my point is, if you stayed in the right-hand lane, as you know in the driving lesson, you should be in the left-hand lane, no police are going to come and take your license away. You have to do something really stupid. Speed, go for red lights. use a mobile while driving. It's kind of difficult to lose your license unless you're doing stuff recklessly. You don't seem like a reckless person, so you're going to be, don't worry about it. But like I said, once you pass your driving test, you can do technically what you want within reason. But on the driving test, on driving lessons, you stay left when possible. We're strict on that because that's what the driving test is about. But if you don't stay left once you pass your test, I'm going to fail you. If you do 4 or 5 attempts to park up in the bay once you pass your test, that's no one's going to take your license away from that. But you can't do 4 or 5 attempts on your driving test to park up in the bay. Right, let's get on with the 17. There we are. C, common answer. Check the label to see if there's similar effect. Yeah, some medication say don't operate heavy machinery while under the influence. Cars come under heavy machinery. That's why they say check the small print or the side effects. At traffic lights, what does it mean when the amber light shows on its own? Yeah, you can book your test anytime you want. Just make sure you're ready for it. So what did you say? Can I book this month? Yes. That's what I would suggest with all you guys. If you're studying for your test, you've got an idea when you're going to be ready. Set the goal and targets. Very easy to say study. Before you know it, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months have passed and you haven't taken your test yet. Set goals. As I said, I do a 5-day boot camp. My students are taking their test, starts on Monday and then taking their test on Friday because they're doing an intensive driving course. You don't need weeks and months of studying. Everybody's different, don't get me wrong. If you can't fit a decent studying schedule in, then yeah, stretch it over a period of time. But there's nothing wrong with booking a test this month. That's what I would recommend because the dates are going to get filled up. So if you're looking for a test in July, you should start looking now to make sure your center has a July date, because you may find that they haven't got anything in July. It's going to be August. So yeah, book it now for next month and you're good to go when you're ready. And if you're not, you can push it back. Yeah, it's good to be back to normal health. The only a good thing when I was in hospital, I lost all that weight and I haven't put it back on yet. Automatic, you drive automatic. I don't know, that could be arranged. Because I'm looking to do something different with lessons. I'm thinking of doing some different stuff and setting up a different thing altogether. So who knows? I'll keep that in mind. Let me come back to that comment. 18. 17 still coming through, right? 18s. No problem. Yeah, get it booked. I'll work towards it. Amber light. Amber means stop. So what did you guys go for? D. There was a B in there somewhere. Yeah, stop at the line. Amber means stop. Amber on its own is the same as red. It means stop. In real life, on your driving lessons, it means stop if it's safe to do so. But for the phrase, remember I said the phrase is black and white. It's always going to be safe. So amber is the same as red. Stop at the stop line. I will also add on the rule test, sometimes they say stop behind the line, which is the correct answer. And the other option is stop beyond the line. Very subtle, behind, beyond. And that's why I keep saying read the questions and answers carefully, because just a little wording can change it. What does this sign mean? Second of June's tomorrow. I'm getting 39. I've got my theory test on the 2nd June, Monday. There's not much I can say to that. If you're getting 39 and you're taking a test tomorrow, there's not much I can say to that. Other than read the questions very, very carefully when you go in there. Definitely take your time tomorrow, because you're not, 39 suggests you're not ready. Not saying you can't pass it, because if the stars are aligned tomorrow with you, for you, and the question comes up that you know, then you're going to pass it. But if questions come up that you don't know, 39 suggests there's only going to be one outcome. So I will suggest that you read the questions very, very carefully tomorrow. Read the answers, all of them, one by one, obviously, carefully, and then try to go for the safest option, especially when you don't know it. If you don't know the answers, I'll flag it, to be honest, move on, and then spend the time going back over the flagged ones. That's the only advice I would give you, is literally slow yourself down massively tomorrow. But like I said, it's possible, but that's not the best preparation. I just said that it don't strike me as reckless, and then you're telling me about your speeding problems. 19. That's really, I put 19, it's got nothing next to it. There you go, Suleiman. Got a C. Yeah, C is the common answer, so I got to assume that's correct. C, level crossing with gate or barrier, level crossing with gates. Yeah, if it's got the picture of the gate, it's level crossing with. If it's got the picture of the train, it's level crossing without. Last one already. At an incident, a casualty is not breathing. What should you do while helping them to start breathing again? A. Open the airways. Check to make sure there's nothing in their mouth before you do anything else. So that's YouTube is really slow. Some of them are coming through really late. So that's 20. Right. Let me let's some more. How many times can you flag? Let me come back to that. I need to get my head around that question. Right, let me just do this quickly. Right, breakdown. As I said at the beginning, for those of you that was here, the theory test is made up of 14 categories. That's why I keep saying, for those of you thinking, why does he keep saying do categories by one? It's 14 categories. Your 50 questions is drawn from those 14 categories. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 categories on a 20 question mock test. So the breakdown, oh, look at that. Hazard and awareness, 9 questions. Safety margins, 2. Documents, 1. Vulnerable road users, 1. Rules of the road, 2. Incidents, accidents, emergencies, 2. Other types of vehicles, 1. Road and traffic signs, 2. So if my weakness was hazard awareness and they're giving me 9, that's 9 possible questions I can get wrong. If that's a 50 question mock test and I've got 9 and I can get wrong, I'm already failing. Take 9 from 50 gives me 41. That's the reason why you need to have a good understanding across the categories itself, because if you get too many of ones that you're weak on, you run the risk of failing your test. So that's the reason why you want to study each category in turn. Right, so let me just couple these long ones. How many times can you flag questions? I'm assuming you mean how many questions you can flag, and you flag all 50 if you want. You shouldn't have to, but if you have to flag all 50, then so be it. You can flag as many as you want, is the simple answer with that. But again, I will stress with all of you, you should be flagging questions at home. The amount of times students have come to me and said, well, I wasn't sure the answer. Did you flag it? No. Then the question is, why not? If you're not sure the answer, why didn't you flag it so you can go back and spend more time? I repeat, when you study at home, you should be studying the same way you're going to take the real test. So if you're flagging at home, it's going to feel natural to flag on the day. If you're taking your time at home, it's going to feel natural to take your time on the day. If you're spending 20 minutes to do a mock test, the chances are you're going to go into the real test and take 20 minutes because it's unnatural for you to slow yourself down. Practice what you preach. That's what I would suggest. But again, like I said, you can only do you. Here's the breakdown of, I'm assuming that scores, multiple choice, topic, areas and safety, your vehicle, rules of the roads, road and traffic signs, my question. Sorry, God, I can't get my head around all this. Let's do it this way. 1. Right. Topic, area, safety in your vehicle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if that's your breakdown, then you need to study those categories. But I'll be honest with you, you've got safety in your vehicle, motorcycle rules, road and documents, motorcycle rules. I'm sure that's motorway rules. That's why I can't get my head around it. It's worded really badly. My dyslexia's not picking it up. That's motorway rules. Documents and traffic signs. Yeah, well, like I said, if that's your breakdown, there's not much I can do with that. You just need to re-study those categories. And I believe your test is on the 8th, I think it was. So you've got a bit of work to put in between now and then. Geordie collects. Just for a job. I've just passed my... Well, first of all, well done for passing. First attempt as well. 46 out of 50, 61.75, high score. Congratulations, Geordie. Thank you for turning up and let me know how you got on. Right, what I'm going to do now is, flag as many as you need to. I would also flag as you go along. Sorry, I'm just reading a comment here. Flag as you go along. So obviously, if you don't know the answer, let's say it's number 2, don't know what the answer is, you have to answer it anyway. Answer it, flag it, move on. And then when you finish, it gives you the option of reviewing your flagged ones. Go back to the flagged ones and then break it down from there. Sometimes you get a question later on that may jog your memory what the answer is because it's worded differently, but it's the same answer. And sometimes that can help. But yeah, flag it. But flag as you go. Good luck to everybody. I know we've spoken already, but is it not a good idea to do mock test after mock test considering there's 14 categories? No, you're not doing mock test to cover the categories. You're doing mock test to get a baseline score. The reason why you're studying categories is to give you knowledge. You do the mock test to give you a baseline score to show you where your weaknesses are and your strengths are. Because on the reason why I recommend the 4-in-1 app, when you do a mock test and click finish, it tells you your strongest category and it tells you your weakest category. So if you do 3 mock tests, even if you pass all 3, and the common weakness is road signs, you now know that you have to go and polish up on the road signs. That's the reason why you're not doing the categories. So you're not doing mock tests to sort of get all the categories out. You're doing mock tests to get a baseline score to test your foundational knowledge. You're doing the categories to give you the knowledge. That's what it's for. So doing mock test after mock test, the app is not designed for you to do mock test after mock test and give you 770 odd questions within those mock tests. It's designed to show you sort of the similar categories you're getting wrong, similar categories you're getting right. So you may never see all the questions if you're doing mock test after mock test. I repeat, that's why you want to expose yourself to every single question by doing category by category. No problem. What is the maximum height you can adjust your headrest of your vehicle seat? Thanks. Is that a theory test question? Or what is a headrest for? There is no maximum. That's a right. Okay. The theory test about headrest is what the headrest is for. It's stopping you from getting neck injuries. Maximum height. I wouldn't even know how to answer that, to be honest. What is the maximum height you can adjust your headrest? If that's a theory test question, I need to know what the options are. I don't understand why it's giving you maximum height. You adjust it to the height that you need. And that's a driving lesson. I won't say it's a driving lesson question. It's what I do on my driving lessons when the people sets the chair up. You set the headrest as the ears, it's got to be in the middle of the headrest, or the head's got to be level with the headrest. There's 2 options. So if that's what you're asking, is the ears got to be in the middle of the headrest. But what is the headrest for? It stops you from getting whiplash or neck injuries. Right, let me do hazard perception quickly. This boy, if I think, hold on 1 second. Right. So just in case you guys didn't know, and especially for those of you not taking driving lessons, a couple of people have said, I asked you the question if you're taking driving lessons alongside the theory test, and I think someone passed their theory test but with 43, and I did say, yeah, there isn't height. So I don't know if he's asking about a driving lesson question, and it's not even a driving lesson question. It's just literally, how should you set? And there we go, goes again. Like I said, sorry, let me just quickly do this because I'm going to do my head in all day if I don't answer it like Sheldon of Big Bang Theory. I need to finish complete. Let me just show you this quickly. iPad. So, how to set up a headrest. There you go. The ears, you probably can't see, probably it's not set up for this. The ears should be level in the middle of the headrest, or the head literally on top of the headrest. You can't see the top part, but that's for a driving lesson. For a theory test question, is what is the headrest for? It stops you from getting whiplash. So if someone goes into the back of your head, snaps back automatically, so it hits the cushion. Oops. So that's the reason for the headrest being set up. But ideally, the ear should be in the middle of the headrest if you're on the driving lesson. And how do you set it up with that? So hopefully that makes sense. But it's just the way you're wording the questions. It's not, my brain's not computing with it. Right, so going back to what I was saying before, some of you taking driving lessons will understand what I'm about to say. For those of you that's not taking driving lessons with the theory, because someone passed with 43, and I suggested to them to take a look at the questions they got wrong, just in case it was road signs, road markings, that type of thing. And the reason for that is number 17, box 17. This is the driving test report sheet. So pass or fail, you're going to get a copy of this on the day of your driving test. And here's your theory right here: traffic signs, road markings, traffic lights, traffic controllers, other road users. So that is your theory test right there. That's what I said, you need it for your driving test. So if your knowledge is weak on some of the obvious category, road markings, that type of stuff, then this is where it's going to get marked. Now for the hazard perception, it's your box 14, it's your mirrors. Before you signal, change the direction, change the speed. So that click you represent, getting your red flag, your 5s and 4s, is you checking the mirrors when you're driving. So every time you see a problem in the video, if you was live in the video, you're clicking to get your red flag. It's you checking the main mirror or the wing mirror, depending which way you're going. That's what the hazard perception is. So I hope that makes sense. So let me just catch up with some of these comments. You're welcome. Hopefully what I'm telling you is making sense to you. Right. I got have out. Thank you for your guidance. I cleared my theory test 47. I'm assuming it's 47 and 50 has perception. Congratulations on passing. Thank you for turning up to let me know. I do appreciate that. Sorry, again, I can't work this out. Apart from 4:30 to 6:30 is for 5 camp studying. Is any time because AM at time. I have no idea what you mean with that, but let me try and put it in simple terms. The boot camp is 5 days, Monday to Friday, 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. If you're asking me if there's any other time, the answer is no, because I'm working. I do teach driving as well. And if you can't make it, you have access to the recordings. Every session is recorded. It's uploaded the very next day, so you can watch the recordings. But I'd rather you be there live. It's not about just turning up and watching the recordings. I'd rather you be there live, where you can ask questions. There's other students there where you feed off each other, because you all make the similar mistakes. You don't feel stupid in being in the camp. That's why it's done via Zoom. So you all realize you're making the same mistake. You're all cheering each other on as well. So I'd rather you be there live. You get more benefits from being there live. But if you can't be there live, you got access to the recordings, and you got access to other training material as well. It's not just the 5-day bootcamp you get all the questions, all the videos being filmed, and you have email support for any questions, and you have access to the training until you pass your theory test. So if you pass your theory test next year, for whatever reason, you got access until next year. It's just short of lifetime, basically. It's lifetime while you're studying, you have access to. How many tests are you supposed to write for the driving test? Only one, the theory test. Once you pass your theory test, you go to book your driving test. That's it. Yeah, then if you're busy, it's not for you. It's simple as that. Like I said, I'd rather you be there. If you can't make it 1 day, 2 days, fine. But if you can't make it any days, it's not for you. The bootcamp isn't for you. It's there to get personal training, so I can give you personal advice as we go through it. as much as we're doing it as a group session, I pick up on things you say because I work on mental attitude, mental mindset as well. So I pick up on certain things you're saying, and then I can personalize the training and my advice to you. But if you're not there live, it's just generic. I'm not there to take your money just to get numbers on seats, bums on seats. I'm there to help you pass. That's my priority. So if you can't make it, then I wouldn't suggest you sign up for it. How long is the practical drive for? Is it you're on the test? You're quoted 35 to 40 minutes. This is for the driving test. The examiner will say to you, you're going to be out on the main roads for about 35 to 40 minutes. You could be longer if there's traffic jams, temporary traffic lights, that type of thing. You could be slightly shorter if the green lights are in your favor, but be prepared to be out for about 40 odd minutes, give or take. It goes quick as well. By the time you jump in the car, before you know it, you're back. When I'd done a mock test with Sophie, my pupil, on Friday, we got back. I asked her how long did she think she was out for, and she said 20 minutes. That's what it felt like to her, 20 minutes. And we was out for 41 minutes. For the practical test, how much are your students paying? For the practical test, how much are your students paid? My friends and family are paying $250 to these scammers to get a quicker date. So expensive. Yeah, that's the average price. $250. The price for a driving test is £62. I'm sure it's $62.50 for a driving test through the conventional way. If you need to speed it up, you're going to be paying around about $250. Again, I had a student, Olivia. She texted me. She didn't take the test with me. She trained with me, but she took it in our own area, Mill Hill, because she just wanted the test quickly. She'd done the course about 3 weeks ago, and she passed on Friday. She paid $250. Everybody's different. If you are willing to wait, you pay $62.50. If you need it quickly, because some of the students that come to me need it for work, because works pay for their course, they're not willing to wait, then it means a lot more to them, so they will pay the $250. So the choice is yours. You don't have to pay, but like I said, if you want a quicker date, then that's an option to you. Right, let me do this as perception. Right, so now we know it's based on mirrors. What you're looking for, let me come out of this so you can see me properly. You're looking for anything that's going to cause you to slow down or change direction on the video. And you want to go for 2-click method. So when you see the problem, you click, you count 1, 2, and then you click again. You don't do 1, 2. It's literally click 1, 2, and then you click again. The reason why you're doing that is because if the first click's too early, the second one lands in the score of a 5 and a 4. As much as it's weird what I'm saying, it's not about you seeing the hazard, it's about you getting a score. You can see the hazard all day long, but if you get a 0, it means nothing. You have to get a score for your average to be 3 across the board. So you do a 2-click method. So let me do a demonstration of that. And then I'll see if there's any comments on there. I'll talk what I'm seeing so you know why I'm clicking when it comes up. Right, so I'll do a real life clip first. See if there's anyone with no stars. Here's one. So let me share my screen so you can see it. So real life, oh, there's 2 of them. Real life 29. Can you see that? Real life 29 hasn't got any stars. So I'm seeing it for the first time. You guys have seen this. I haven't done it before. So watching the lorry to my left. So when you're watching the videos and when you're driving in real life, you should be scanning from left to right anyway, because signposts are on the pavement on your left or your right. So I'm going past the lorry, so I'm now looking well ahead. Still don't see nothing for me to click on. The lorry's push coming back. Oh, there's a signal from the lorry. I'm going to click again just to make sure I get a score. I think one's too early. He's now changing lanes, so I'm definitely going to be clicking for that. Car from my left is coming onto the carriageway, but it's coming into the left-hand lane, not my lane, so I don't have to click for that yet. Still nothing else going on. The white car signal to come off, but it doesn't affect me. Don't need to signal. Oh, 5 out of 5. So let me just show you no cheating involved. 5 out of 5. Review the clip. Always review it back and just speed it up for the sake of the video. So I saw the lorry pulling back. So that's why I clicked for that. Here's the first one. And there's the second one. And I went for a third one just to make sure I got a score, because I thought the first two may have been too early. So like I said, always make sure you get a score. So I went for a third one. There's nothing wrong with that. When you change lanes, I clicked again. And that's how you do it. They'll always give you the highest score, so it's never going to be downgraded. So if you got a 5, in my case, I got a 5, and my last click was a 2. So they still gave me the highest mark. There's no benefits in clicking once, lots of benefits in clicking twice. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me just see what these guys are saying. Right, hello Don, I just finished a driving lesson. I'm going quickly through it because your videos, the ferry has really helped me a lot. See, there you go. The ferry has really helped me a lot. Like I said, the ferry will help you with your driving, especially if you're doing 2 side by side. Not everyone can afford to do driving lessons as they're studying the ferry. I fully understand that. But if you can take driving lessons while you're studying for the ferry, it's going to help you so much to understand and also give you a best possible chance of passing first time. That's why my students who do the intensive course, they do the course, start Monday, take the test on Friday, but they do the boot camp in 4 days, because obviously Friday at 5 o'clock, they go for the test and they still pass. The pass rate for that is really, really high because they're using it on a daily basis. That's the reason why I suggest it can help. And not only that, once you pass the ferry, like my student, like I said, Sophie, she was a quick learner. We just need to brush up on her maneuvers, but driving wise, she's good to go. So she's booking her ferry test over the weekend. Hopefully we can find her something quickly and she'd be good to go and pass her driving test before she goes off to college. Can I pay with my husband's bank card? Yeah, you can pay with your husband's bank card. It's not a problem. It doesn't discriminate who pays. Just be careful with the email that you sign up with. Is the email you have to access the course with. So if it's not your email and it's your husband's email, all the information will be sent to your husband. So he would need to keep checking his email, or you need to ask him to check his email for the login information. Because once you pay, you have access to all the recordings of the questions straight away. You don't have to wait for the date of your boot camp. You get immediate access straight away. So if you're using your husband's email, you have to ask him to keep checking his email for login details and any announcements, because sometimes we put new stuff in there as well, and you get told that as well. Thank you very much for your video. Says I scored 48, missed it by 2. 68 as a perception. Wow, well done to you. Thank you for letting me know how you got 68, Wow. Some of the clips on the apps are in horrific quality. Yes, that's what we call the real life clips, which I just demonstrated. The failure rate on that, when it was all real life, was really high. That's why they're gone to CGIs. So on the apps, you're going to have a combination of CGIs and real life. On the test itself on the day, they're all CGIs. And based on the feedback, they're slightly slower than the app videos as well. But they're all CGIs on the day, crystal clear, bigger screen as well. Because most of you do it on your phone. Yeah, they're much better in the test. Right, sorry, I've got to try and work this out. Save me before I'm struggling with that. I'm just the general gist I got that is that you're doing the categories one by one, but it's just the way it's worded. My brain is not going to function with that. Again, you're welcome. That's what I'm here for, to help you guys out with that. Right, so let me do another one with the real life clip. Yeah, with your comments and questions, you've got to try to word it in a way my brain can accept it. It struggles with the best English at the best of time. When it's not worded correctly, it's not going to function. Let's just share my screen so you guys can see what I'm doing. Let's just do this one just like it's at night. Right, you guys can see that. Always scan when you're driving in real life, watching the videos from pavement to, there's a flashing light up ahead as well. Cyclists, let me click on that. Problem mirror. So the signs on the pavement. So that's where you need to be looking from left to right, right to left. There's another thing in a red top there. I'm going to click on that. He's looking over his shoulder, so I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go again. So like I said, I'm just making sure I get a score. I don't really care about anything else. I'm just making sure I get a score, but I'm not over clicking. I'm not going to click, 5, 6 clicks for one problem. Car looking to come out. Four out of 5. So always look, again, let me just show you, no cheating. 4 out of 5. Just show you how you can improve on that. So here you go. I just showed you, I saw a problem, I'm clicking. I don't know if that's when the score starts from. I'm seeing it, I clicked, move on. Speeding up a little bit. Another click as the cyclist got closer to the scooter. And I don't know if you can see it here. I could have clicked sooner, to be fair. He's turned his head looking over his shoulder. That suggests he's looking to move out. And again, when you're doing real life driving lessons, you pick up on these things. This is what I teach my pupils. Anticipation. It's called awareness and planning, which is the biggest part of your driving test. And the way that I explain, you're aware of the problem and you have a plan before you get there, which means it keeps you calm. You don't stress and freak out. So he's looking over his shoulder. That suggests he's going to move out to the right, which means he's going to come into my lane, which means I have to slow down. Hence why I've clicked on that. And I went for another 2 just to make sure. And like I said, I got 4. My lowest mark on that was 1. They gave me the highest mark. And that's the way it works. And I'll also add, when you guys are practicing, you're practicing. If you're getting 2s and 3s, look to improve. That's all it is. You guys get 2s and 3s and start panicking, freaking, oh my God, I can't do this. I don't understand it. Watch the video back, replay it back again and again and again, and you'll improve. What you do at home when you're practicing and learning, you are making mistakes. It's good to make mistakes because you learn from them. You learn nothing from getting 50 out of 50 if you can do that. You learn nothing getting 75 out of 75 if you can do that. You learn from mistakes. It's the same thing when you go for your driving lessons. Hopefully you got a decent instructor. If you make a mistake, they don't scream and shout at you because that's a waste of time. They talk it through with you, how you can improve on that. Making a mistake is a positive thing. It's not negative. If you see it as negative, then it's going to act as negative in your brain. And then that's when all issues, frustrations, and disappointment kicks in. All right, let me just see what you guys are saying. Yes, done that. Yeah, that's the one I couldn't read. All right, okay. Richard passed his test last Tuesday. Congratulations, Richard. And 663. Anything for me is, I just find it amazing to get over 60 on a real test, 60 plus on a real test with the nerves, panic sets in. I think that's amazing. So well done to Richard for passing. No problem. And that's the last one. Comment on there. You have a blessed week as well. Hopefully I'll see you next Sunday. So for those of you who's got tests coming up this week, I wish you the best of luck with that. Please come back next Sunday. Let us know how you got on, one way or the other. If you didn't go according to plan, bring the paperwork along. have it there, and then you can type in the categories, and maybe I can give you a bit more help with the way to go forwards on that. But like I said, for those of you that's got tests this week, I wish you the best of luck with that. For the rest of you, hopefully the studying goes well. Most importantly, look after yourself, stay safe, and I shall catch all of you next Sunday at 10 a.m. Have a good week.